Hello, ladies and gents! Welcome back to another week of high-octane action. Before we kick it off with a pretty sick replay, I wanted to let you know that as from this week, I will post my weekly schedule, including video topics and stream times, every Monday on my Facebook page and also in the comments in the usual Monday World of Tanks Funny Moments compilation. But back to business. Today's epic replay is courtesy of Rob from Hungary, who had a pretty spectacular game in his SU-100, the Tier 6 Soviet tank destroyer. Apart from the very solid overall results, things really did heat up by the end of it, with the closest endgame I've seen in a while. Sounds like a fun match? I do think so. Check this out. Alright, so here we are in our SU-100 on Tundra. It's a standard match, and not a bad one either. Only about a third of the teams are Tier 6s, so we are top tier, and a lot of the opposition will be Tier 5s and Tier 4s, who we can absolutely devastate with our 122mm gun. Now the SU-100, the regular Tier 6 Soviet tank destroyer, is a little bit like an ISU-152 Light. It has a very punchy gun. 390 average damage with 175mm of penetration is absolutely bonkers at Tier 6. So we can actually one-shot a lot of the enemy and two-shot most of the heavy air opposition. Now I have to say, at the beginning of the match, we have to wait a little bit for the action to get started. Don't worry though, it will very soon pick up. Probably you already guessed from the team distribution that the hill will be lost in a very rapid and ugly fashion to the enemy team, as they have the medium advantage and our team has sent most of the forces down the 1 and 2 lines. As the heavy tanks arrives, and no opposition shows itself at the moment, however, we will soon make our way over to see if we can spot somebody around their base. Although it seems most of the enemy team actually did go to the hill, as is the meta in most games these days. Now this is a bit of a risky maneuver, although the SU-100 is relatively mobile actually. 50 km per hour top speed with 16 horsepower per ton power to weight ratio makes it rather agile, and even the tank traverse with 36 degrees is rather nice. But what do we have here? First opponent, very oblivious Stuk 3, which I think needs a little bit of rest, so we sent him back to the garage in quite unrelenting fashion. We received some shots from here, and that could be potentially the Stuk 4. Hidden at the moment, and there he is. So it's quite certain that it was him who made that very cheeky noise on our hull. And in the meantime, unfortunately, the T-3485 is map spamming in the most ugly fashion. Oh my god. Idiots. Yeah, I know you want to put your team's attention to the fact that they are all holding one corner of the map and leaving everything else undefended, but this is just ridiculous. And now the OI joins in as well, because why not? Anyway, 2 shots, 2 kills, but we are very far from done. Oh, hello Stuk 4. Goodbye Stuk 4. This is usually what this machine does. Now the scores are not bad, but the positioning on the map is rather ugly. We spot a Type T-34 making his way down. So question is, where should we go? We can go after that guy, or we can go up and try to snipe the enemy, who will most probably be advancing towards our cap at the moment. Decide to go down and hound down this guy, which is not a bad idea, especially as we can expect also some other tanks down here below. And oh well, Russian guns don't need aiming, do they? And this gun is no exception. It has about 2.8 second aim time with 0.41 meters dispersion. But when a Russian gun behaves itself, it's pretty much on auto aim all the time. Oh boy. Poor little tier 4 medium tank. Oh, come on, don't be scared. It will be all over very soon. Tries to get away, but not fast enough. The SU-100 is a mobile little beast, and that means we can now go back to the garage to rest a little bit as well. Now this Panzer III is very dedicated to destroying us, and unfortunately he makes quite a good job at it. But he makes a foolish mistake, he stops, and this allows us to quickly turn around and put a huge round into his side. But the troubles are still not over. We have already our top gun secured, but now a tier 5 heavy tank, the VK-3001H, is coming up, and that's not a bad little machine actually at tier 5. So we don't really want to get shot by him, especially as we have already lost most of our health. Only 122 hit points left. So that's a little bit tricky. And unfortunately the team is not doing that great as well. We did manage to squander all the advantages, and now we are actually down by one tank. Did you see that shot in the VK? Over 400 damage, which is just a slightly above average damage roll. This is what this tank destroyer does best. Now we managed to pull the scores back, but KB1S is in a hell of a trouble, and there he goes, the A43, which is already on 5 kills, and the T67 take him out. And that leaves us unfortunately in a 1 versus 2 situation, where we are in a rather powerful tank destroyer, but on very low health, and we have to go up against a tier 6 medium and a tier 5 very agile tank destroyer. So they definitely have the mobility advantage and probably the view range advantage as well. So tricky, tricky, tricky. Question is, what will these guys do? They could come on a couple of avenues. They could come down here by the little river. They could go straight through the bridge into our cap circle, or they could try to flank around as well. They have the mobility to choose whatever they like, and we have to be a little bit lucky here if we want to go and try to smoke them out, because if they suddenly find us on one corner, we could be in really big trouble. But we decide to go for it. There is no glory in camping, is it? Well, it wouldn't be the worst idea actually to wait for those guys to come to the cap, which they will most probably do sooner or later, as they don't seem to be here, I'm afraid. It seems that Rob is expecting them to stay at their cap circle and guard their base, which is, to be frank, a real possibility. At the moment it doesn't seem like they are still here. Nonetheless, we are going to take another peek down from the H-line. And this is a risk we can take, as even if they are going for the cap circle, the SU-100 will be fast enough to get back in time to reset. Don't want to stray too far away from the cap though. We don't want to risk it too much, especially if they both start capping at the same time. That could be a little bit tight. Let's see. No, it doesn't look like they are here either. And that means most probably that those guys are around our cap circle, and oh boy, there we go. There's already one of them in there, trying to cap. Is the other one still hunting? Or is he maybe giving cover to this guy? Well, we are lucky that it's only one of them capping, so we will have actually time to get back. Come on, SU-100, you can do it. There isn't really enough time to be wasted though, so we probably will have to take the shortest route, which will be straight over the bridge. And especially now both of them are in the cap circle, and this will be really, really tight. pedal to the metal, and come on, we will probably only have one shot at this. Oh, they are still not spotted. 15 seconds to go. Oh, we are on 7 kills. Let it not end like this. Oh, they are still unspotted. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh my god! With 1 second left on the counter, we managed to snipe the cupola of the A43, but it's almost over. The T-67 manages to put a round into us, reducing us to 14 health. Decides that he do not want to push his luck and makes a retreat. Now this is a dangerous one. The T-67 has the mobility advantage. And our armor will not really hold up against him, so there isn't many things that are going in our favor here. He also has a turret, and we don't. Both of us are one-shots for each other with pretty much a guaranteed kill on hit. So... tricky. Well, first is first, I think we have to break cover, which it seems happened, but it was not down to us, so that probably means that the T-67 did reverse. Now, reversing with our ass here is a little bit tricky, but Rob guessed, and probably very right, that the T-67 went down the other side and is probably trying to come around us. Where is that guy? Oh my god, there he is! He's aiming this way! And the snapshot takes the win! The T-67 was just a fraction of a second too slow. Wow, these were some pretty close calls in the end, but we emerged victorious. Well done, Rob, for an amazing result, and oh, by the way, I think I missed you actually in a recent game on Stalingrad when you were dishing it out in your IS-3. Sorry about that, mate. But back to the fat loot we secured in this match. Ace Tanker, High Caliber, Defender, Top Gun, Red Revolters, and even a Langlades medal for destroying at least 4 enemy players while they tried to cap. Not bad. Looking at the team results, I think the green team needed a little bit of carrying this time around. Over 2000 damage had to be done with 9 kills secured, which resulted in a close to 1200 base experience game. For all this destruction, we had to fire our powerful 122mm gun 12 times, 10 out of which actually we hit the target as well, and all of those shots penetrated too. We even managed to bounce 5 out of the 12 shots received, though those were from pretty low caliber guns. As is the case with a lot of the armor in the game, this thing's really only effective against lower tiered opponents when it's about deflecting shots. So, this was then a rather eventful match in the SU-100. Many thanks once again to Rob for sending this in. I hope you guys have been entertained as well. If so, thanks a lot for considering giving this a like or sharing it. Next up we will have some more funny moments from World of Warships this time, and then it's tank action once again with another episode from the Good or Bad series. Thanks a lot for watching, and see you soon.